Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We have UEFA Champions League at the St. James Park. We have Newcastle United hosting FC Barcelona for the first game in the league phase, with the game ending 2-1 victory for the Blaugranas. Let's talk about it. So we start with the both teams starting lineup with Newcastle United starting the game with a 4-3-3 formation. Nick Pope in goal with Trippier at right back and also Livramento in the left back position. With two centre halves is Fabian Schär and Dan Burn, two tall centre backs, right? Both experienced as well, physical too. And then the two midfields are Bruno Guimaraes, Tonali in the middle, and Joe Linton on the left hand side. While the three attacking is Anthony Elanga on the left and Harvey Barnes on the left. No, Elanga on the right actually. Harvey Barnes on the left and Anthony Gordon in the striker position instead of what's his name? The guy who was replaced by him. And then the tall striker. I can't remember exactly his name is. Voltemade. Then with Barcelona, the usual formation of 4-3-2-1 with Joan Garcia in goal. I'm a bit surprised but glad that Joan Garcia is the one who's starting as the goalkeeper instead of Chesney. So Chesney stays keeping him as the goalkeeper for the Copa del Rey. Maybe some lower league games that he can play sometimes. But Champions League should be Joan Garcia, yes, and I'm glad. And then he played well. We'll talk about that. Then we have the four in defense. On the right, we have Jules Koundé. And then on the left, we have Gerard Martin with Pau Barsi and our captain Ronald Araujo in the centre halves. And then the two holding the usual Pedri and Frankie with number 10 Fermin Lopez deserving the starting position after the Valencia performance. And then after that, we have Rafinha on the right, in for Lamin's injury, who's injured. And then we have Rashford starting after his performance again, deserving of the start in the against Valencia. And then a striker, we have Lewandowski instead of Ferran. Lewandowski starting this season for the first time. Flick, as already predicted, choosing the experience over the tenacity, Ferran. So with the game, before the game, I already expected them to press us very heavily throughout the game, right? And I expected the press to subdue us for about roughly 25 minutes. But I'm sure that if we don't concede within that 25 minutes, we would have been able to take control of the game because we were playing away, and then after that break them down slowly as we usually do with every other opponent that we face. And as we play, the game exactly happened like that, where they've been pressing us non-stop, getting multiple chances early on the first half that needed saving from Joan Garcia in the defense, under a lot of pressure in the first 20 minutes. And then after we took control of the game, after all the pressure in the first 20 minutes, about 23 minutes, we controlled the game, having multiple chances in there with Rashford, some counters from Rashford and everything. But other than that, it's just about filling each other out in that first half, but mainly Barcelona controlling the match, even the second half, other than the pressure and constant attack in the first 15-20 minutes of Newcastle, right? And then we go to the second half. That's when changes happens, where Barcelona started quicker instead of letting Newcastle pressurize them. Right, Newcastle tried, but then we subdued the straight away. And then early in the second half, Rashford scores with one of the chances that we created from the right hand side, with Fermin passing it to Jules Koundé. Koundé cuts it back to himself, and then crossing with his left instead of right. Very good cross. And then after that, Rashford with a clean header to the far post in the middle while he's unmarked, right. And then that was his first debut goal for Barcelona. And I mean, it's good for his confidence, right? But we'll talk about that more. And then about roughly 10 minutes later, Rashford scores again with a banger of a rocket of a shot. But that's I guess, not to be expected from Rashford because of his lack of confidence in recent times, but it's more so we know that's what he has in his locker, right? And it's just who can unlock it. We know Hansi Flick can unlock the abilities of players that they don't even know they have. And then right after that game, it's just about Barcelona just controlling the whole game, right? Newcastle try multiple times to score, but our defense is very solid. And John Garcia, whenever needed, is always confident, giving the fan base and the defense confidence when he's in goal, whenever the ball goes to him, right? And then, but by the end of the game, Barcelona got sloppy and then let them attack on the counter. And then after that, Anthony Gordon scores from a pass. I can't remember actually from who, from the right hand side. I'm assuming no, actually I remember Murphy. I think it's Murphy that crossed it across to the other side, with Gordon scoring with his left foot with the tap in. And then after that, it's just again game management where we just manage the game until the final whistle. And with that, the Barcelona 1-1. I'd like to prefer talk about the performance individually from each team. I prefer with I'd start with Newcastle first, and then we'll go to Barcelona. Newcastle. Nick Pope, I'd say nothing much to say really about him. He's made some mini saves. I think one or two saves that was okay to good saves. But other than that, nothing much to say about him really. Like the second goal, you can expect much from him. Like I don't think a lot of goalkeepers can save that rocket shot from Rashford. The first goal, it wasn't even his fault because he was free, meaning the man marking on Rashford, he was weak, and Rashford could capitalize on it, right? So it wasn't his fault. So Nick Pope at face he's just doing fine, I'd say. Then we go to Trippier. I'd say he's had a really bad game, but but not because of himself, because of the player that he's up against. Because obviously Trippier is already old enough. He's not known for his speed as well. And Rashford going against him, he's been tormenting the whole game. Rashford was tormenting him with his speed, specifically with his speed and physicality, which Trippier cannot handle, and that's why he also got replaced because he got an injury because of how much fatigue he had to run up and down to mark Rashford, and then was replaced by Bauman. And then we go to the left, Livramento. Nothing much really to say to him. He wasn't really doing good nor bad. No notable mistakes really. Nor any notable that I can remember of him doing anything significant in the game. When it comes to Dan Burn and Fabian Schär again, not a whole lot. Mainly a lot of fouls to Lewandowski. Going on his back and just fouling him, the usual centre back what centre back do, which I still don't understand why people do it, because I'm a centre back and it's the dumbest foul that you can make all the time. Understandable that you're trying to make sure that the striker is not confident, but then giving fouls, meaning the ball is still in the other opposition half, and then giving more and more higher chance of your next foul will be a yellow card for you. But now Fabian Schär, nothing much. He did get an injury because of he had I think a head injury. Can't remember was it. I think the first one, it was a head to head or something, but the second one, it was because he was blocking with his head, and then the ball it was hard. He got a concussion, I think, and then he was replaced by Thiaw. When it comes to Dartburn, he's always his I guess presence when it comes to attacking corners is very much felt. But with Araujo there was not a slight of I guess nerves that I got whenever we got the goal, because Araujo will win all the headers. I'm sure of it because I've seen from Flick all the time. He always asks Araujo, specifically only Araujo, to not mark anyone. He is the only one who's free, like how we had Piqué all the time. Piqué never marks anyone whenever we're defending the corners. He's the only one who's free to focus on only getting the ball, while the other players are focusing on marking the balls, right? Araujo will be close to Danburn, but his main focus is not Danburn. His main focus is always the ball. And again, he's won every duel that I can remember. And with Danburn, nothing much. Instead of just his presence, in my opinion, that he should have gotten a red card when he fouled in the first half. He fouled Jules Koundé in the right hand side. He tackled, but his tackle was a little bit higher than normal. It was right on the ankle, and it was touched to the ankle. I don't understand how it wasn't a red card. Maybe because of the time of the game, it shouldn't matter. But it maybe because of it's early in the game. He was high up the pitch. He already got a yellow. things like that, but it shouldn't be like that. Maybe the home advantage worked, right? But I don't think that was correct call. It should be a red card. But other than that, nothing much to say really about him. Then we go to Tonali again. Regarding the three defense, I have no positive at all regarding the three midfields for Newcastle, be it Tonali, Bruno Guimaraes, and also Jolinton. All three of them are being bossed by Pedro and Frankie. Not because of it's their fault. It's because who they're up against, like Trippier situation, right, with Rashford. It's just that they cannot do anything. Yeah, they're pressed. It was obvious, as per the report, that they would be trying to focus on stopping Pedri. But then you can also see that they got overwhelmed after the first 25 minutes, that they just running in circles around them, right? There's nothing that they can do. In my opinion, Fermin should have dropped a little bit deeper, so at least he'll be fully controlling midfield. But other than that, not fun. But we'll talk about the Barca squad. Then regarding Tonali, nothing much to say. Really, nothing much to say. And then Burgamarais, also nothing much to say regarding their output in the game. Jolinton is just as annoying as ever, but again, nothing much to say, nothing positive really that needs to talk about. The negative is just they can't control the midfield, right? Be it in the attack or the defense, right? And then we go to the three up top. We have Harvey Barnes, who received I think 2 to 3 chances in that first 25 minutes. One of them was a cross from low from Elanga to himself, and he had basically an open goal, and it was saved perfectly by Joan Garcia. And again, people call it a miss. No, it's not a miss. It was on goal. It was a good shot. It's just Joan Garcia was the one who did it well. Coming across to his far post, right, and then diving down and making himself big. So with Javier Mans, again, in my opinion, that he had an okay performance. Nothing much really other than that miss that I can think of. Than that, most of his shots are blocked by Rajo and Kunde. And then after that, but in my opinion, I think he's been beaten every single time when it comes to dribbling, trying to dribble past Araujo or Jules Koundé. Then we have the striker. Striker, but he's just playing in that position. He's not really a striker. He's a left wing / left mid. Anthony Gordon. In my opinion, he wasn't having a good game, obviously, because of the fact that he was playing against Araujo and multiple times. Every single time he has lost every single duel with Araujo. Notably, obviously, understandably, with how physical Araujo is, be it speed, height. He wasn't a threat to us whatsoever. But after a mediocre at best performance in throughout the game, he got a goal to at least cover for that horrible performance from him. And that really is due to us lacking in concentration at the end of the game, in my opinion. But I'll talk about that more. Then, in my opinion, Newcastle's best player, which is Anthony Elanga. Again, not saying that he's really good in the game. No, he was the only one who's actually performing good, above average in a sense, because he was in that 25 to 30 minutes, he was threatening with his speed, 1v1 dribbles, though he was not beating Jean Martin, but he still did well enough to cause us trouble on the right hand side, especially when they had a chance with his speed again, when we tried to have the offside trap, right? But again, nothing much really, instead of just minimal threat. In my opinion, that in that game, if Balde was there, Elanga would be not in existence, because his speed wouldn't be able to be a threat, because Balde would be faster than him. Yeah, so it wouldn't be an issue. So then I would say that would be me sealing the Newcastle thing, because the what's it called, like the substitutions from Newcastle with Voltemada didn't do anything really. Joe Willock didn't do anything really. Murphy, other than the assist, nothing much to say about him. He was basically doing what Elanga is actually doing, just sprinting from the right hand side, right? And he was against Eric Garcia, so it wasn't really much of a challenge for him when it comes to speed, right? Not 1v1s. And then the centre back Thiaw, nothing much really to say. He's done okay after he came on. And then Bauman for Trippier as well. Nothing much to say really. Other than that, I'd say that's it for Newcastle. When it comes to Barcelona, we go to John Garcia. John Garcia. There, in my opinion, he was really really good in the match. He could have been man of the match if it wasn't for other people that I'm gonna mention soon. He's down Peckerel, but he could have if because of his great performance. And again, it feels great having that security that we feel like we're safe. We're safe. We feel safe at the back with if the defenders got past, we still have John Garcia. Very early on in the game when we were getting a lot of pressure, they had a chance. He was offside, but I mean nobody knows. It was playing on. We knew he was offside right after that chance ended. With I think it was Javi Barnes. Who was passed through. I can't remember by who. I think maybe Guimaraes. And then after that, he went through 1v1 with John Garcia. Funny enough, I was holding my breath, but I had that a little bit of, I feel like I'll be fine. I think he can do it. I trust him. And then we did. Barnes tried to chip him, and then John Garcia tips it away from our goal. That was one, for example. Another one is what I already discussed early on about Javi Barnes' chance that he sprinted quickly from his wing near post to the far post and made himself big enough, and then actually looked at the ball where it's going, and then uses his right foot to block it, right? And then after that, throughout the game, multiple crosses, multiple shots, basically straight at him, just controlling the game. And then one thing that I'd like to note is that he's actually looking like he's starting to become just a little bit more comfortable on his feet, which I hope he gets better and better, because in Barcelona we will need it. He's going to be our goalkeeper for years to come, obviously, right? And then, but yeah, it's just nice seeing someone who has that kind of reflex and like attentiveness to actually jump to a chance that is coming towards him, right? And then that's basically regarding John Garcia. And then go to Jules Koundé, which is in my opinion could also have been easily, actually at the start, about early on, I said to myself that he is currently the man of the match unless something changes, right? Even before the goals from Rashford. And because Jules played amazingly in the game. Again, really shutting my opinion down in the last video when it comes to, I said Eric should have started over him because he doesn't look very match fit when he was playing against Valencia. I'd say he was below his standards, even though he performed well against Valencia. So then he showed why he's the best right back in the world, in my opinion. Not once he was beaten from the right hand side in a dribble, in a cross, in an aerial duel, and also on the ball he's good. He's attacking well, overlapping is still good. Still iffy regarding his connection with Rafinha, because like Rafinha sometimes drifts to the middle with Lamine the opposite side, so that's why there was some miscommunication early on. But other than that, one of the best performance he is currently, in my opinion, is the third choice man of the match, and I'll talk about who, right? I'd say John Garcia would be fifth man of the match, like I guess in ranking that I would have given him if someone else wasn't above him, basically, right? And Jules will be, in my opinion, would be third. Someone else is fourth, and then second and first, right? And then we go to the left hand side. Gerard Martin did exactly what he needed to be done, right? Again, some things he can control with how much speed he has. He's not as fast as you would hope, right? You can't just blame someone for not being fast, right? For being slow. Imagine if Messi is slow, would you just blame him and then not look at the good things that he can do with his technical abilities? Look at Xavi, look at Busquets. We don't talk about speed with him, right? But we talk about how creative he is and how much his impact in the game. So Gerard Martin, he did amazingly in the game. In my opinion, also he's won most, if not maybe only beaten one. I think not even by dribble, but only by cross for Milanga. But throughout the game, he did very well, and I do think that he the reasoning he was substituted by Eric Garcia was only to the fact that he got a yellow in the game for his foul against Bruno Guimaraes. And then, but in the game, I loved seeing him on the ball. He's getting calmer as well. There was even a chance where he had the ball and he was pressured by two players, and he, instead of just clearing it or passing the goalkeeper, no, he dribbled past them. I'm starting to see that he's getting that confidence, more of his confidence back, right? Sorry about that. I was getting a call, and then so we'll continue with Gerard Martin. With Gerard Martin, he did. I'd say I'd say pretty good, if not very good, in the match. He just got fatigued, and then also obviously not sacrificed the record. I do not agree with the change with Eric Garcia instead of Geoffrey Torres, but we'll talk about that. Then we go to the both center halves, who's Kubarsi and Araujo. First, Kubarsi, he was substituted pretty early in the game, which is, I don't understand why. It looks like he might get a little bit of fatigue in his feet, maybe a slight cramp in here and there, but maybe because of the early pressure from them, right? But other than that, he's done well enough, but still not up to his standard. But he's good enough where he's controlling the whenever he's on the ball, the way he usually does. And then after that, when it comes to, like, it's like more so like nothing noticeable in his performance, like that you would grant him, nor anything in any big mistakes, or even any mistakes that I can think of that you would have to mention, right, basically. So he's done good enough in the game. When it comes to Araujo, in my opinion, he was our best I guess the better performer of the center back of Kubasi. He's won every single area duel, every single 1v1. He's blocked every single shot that comes against him. He's made multiple clears, and one of his weak point that I already discussed in my Barcelona squad review is that he's lacking in ball playing, obviously, because that's what Barcelona needed, right? He only has brute as of now, but he's using his brute, he's using his speed, he's using his physicality, he's using intelligence, and also his passing creativity has gotten better as well. That he's also a bit calmer on the ball. He doesn't rushes to unnecessary long balls, right? And in the game, he's done everything that he needed to do. There's nothing, no mistakes that I can think of in the game. But other than that, also he shows in his leadership when it comes to the team when the team was under pressure. So I'm very happy with the performance from Araujo. We go to the two pivot with Pedri and Frankie, which is, I already told you, Jules was third in the pecking order when it comes to the man of the match, right? These are the two, number one and number two in the man of the match, which is Pedri, the man of the match in my opinion, and Frankie would be the second. Very close, could be the first as well. It's just now instead of objective for me, now it becomes subjective, which is, in my opinion, Pedri is just a tiny bit edges it by like 0 point something maybe, right? But it's just, if I could give two man of the matches to just the same team, I'd give it to Pedri and Frankie, right? But that wouldn't be a special award, if that makes sense. I'll give it to everyone if that's the case. So with me, just Pedri and Frankie controlling the game. It's just very satisfying to watch them. It's very calm how calm they are. Like, some fan base have already talked about it as well, that it's like watching Xavi and Iniesta again, right? But Pedri, in my opinion, I see him a lot more looking like Iniesta and Busquets combined, while Frankie is a combination of Busquets and Xavi. So it's a perfect duo in the pivot. And like Pedri, from the start of the game till the end of the game, he's just controlling the game. Obviously, the first 15-20 minutes, it was a bit struggle because of the high energy that the Newcastle players had, and non-stop pressure from him, because of, obviously, at home they got a big crowd who was chanting for them and helping them and everything, cheering at every single foul, every single corner, every single turnover from them. But then with Pedri and Frankie, they're just soaking up the pressure. Right after the 20-25 minutes, they're soaking up the pressure throughout the game and just calmly passing it around to players around them, creating spaces for each other and chances, and even passing it just to each other, non-stop controlling the play. It's just, when someone is that good, you're out of word, basically. There's nothing much to say, because everyone knows. You can clearly see it, right? If you don't see it, what are you watching? Cricket? Come on. Then, but yeah, nothing really much to say. I'm just glad, and I've already said it also in my squad review that in my opinion, even if Rafinha deserving, in my opinion, deserving of the Ballon d'Or, no, but not Lamine nor Dembele. In my opinion, our best player is Pedri. Without Pedri in the team, I don't know where we would be this season. I hope he never gets injured, or even ever, because I think it would be a big trouble if Pedri ever gets injured, right? So then, yeah, with now Pedri, and then with Frankie as well, is him the usual driving in from the middle through the fielders calmly whenever he's getting pressure from the team. Basically, what they're doing exactly what they're doing to each with each other to the to like opening up space, right? But yeah, I'm basically speechless with their performance. Can't wait again, right? And imagine we have Gavi, Casado, and Bernal now, right? It's just calming the midfield that we have, right? So then, okay, that's basically it for our two pivot. And then I'll go to Fermin, and in my opinion, Fermin is very much below his standard, especially the standard he has already set for himself. In my opinion, from my observation, is mainly to the fact that he is a little bit insistent on going higher in the pitch. Obviously, that's his best role in the game usually. But with us early on having getting pressured so much by them, I was hoping that he'd go drop deeper instead of staying up all the time, right? And at least giving us an extra number in the midfield, because that's what he's supposed to do. But then he's just like a little bit sluggish here and there, some pop shots here and there and everything. But other than that, again, in my opinion, it's below standard, but it's an average performance. It's not like he's done big mistakes, nor has done anything that's notable to be mentioned, basically, right? It's really not really a memorable, pretty forgetful performance for Fermin, right? But yes, other than that, nothing much really again to say about Fermin. Other than that, then we go to the both wide midfielders, and we have Rafinha on the right and Rashford on the left. I'll start with Rafinha. With Rafinha on the right, actually, I'll speak about Rashford last. I'll talk about Rafinha, then Lewandowski. With Rafinha, early on, again, as I said with the Jules Koundé review, it's like he was struggling a little bit when it comes to linking up play with Koundé, but after like 20-25 minutes, he's gotten better with it, starting to become more comfortable. Again, his speed is still he was an issue early on the game with Fodan Berne and also Livramento, but again, they always gang up on him, leaving so much space in the middle, basically, right, for Rashford, basically. And for me, his performance was good. I wouldn't say very good, but he did good in the game. Pretty good in the game. I'd say regarding his speed and also his link-up play in the game, drifting in the middle, rotating with Koundé. And then when it comes to his end product, there was some slight mistakes here and there. Not a mistake, but I'd say like weak shots, if that makes sense, right? Like straight at the keeper, or some are just low wide and again on target. But regarding him, whenever I like that he's still attentive enough. Whenever someone has the ball, be it Fermin, be it Pedri, be it Frankie, and be it Rashford, he's always ready to make runs in behind in the far post, right? So yeah. Other than that, nothing much to say regarding him. Pretty good performance from him. Sorry. And then we go for Lewandowski. Lewandowski, his performance is, I'd say, an okay performance as well, due to the fact that he's there. I didn't expect him to actually basically score the goals, but the impact we needed from him was putting defense higher up, which it did with Dunban and also Fabian Schär many times, to leave space for Rashford, Rafinha, and also Fermin to occupy the space that he had left behind. And also his link-up play was amazing. Every time we get the ball and we pass to him, it's just always a first-time pass to the left, to the right, to the back, and even sometimes ahead behind him. It's just linking play, knowing the space around him, how much space he has, if he needs to make a first touch first and then a pass, or for one touch pass straight to the man in space. But yeah, other than that, in my opinion, nothing much really to say about him. Regarding the Rashford, obviously the main person that needs to be talked about, right? The one who has so many stories with his I guess issues with Man United, getting on loan, finally leaving United to Aston Villa, not really getting the I guess the rise there, and then after that coming to his dream club Barcelona. Obviously, that's what he said. We don't know, but then last game against Valencia, I already said that you can see some like like a lot of influence actually from his mainly the linking up play with his teammates, understanding the system and how where he should be, what he needs to do. uh, the only thing there's basically just one thing that I don't like about him, and that is early on he I guess let the ball go through his legs, and then also through I think Trippier as well, and then he was in on goal in a counter, and then sadly instead of actually just be decisive and shoot the ball early, or number two passing it to Rafinha who's open and who was asking, he shot the ball weakly, and then obviously it was on target, it was off target. But other than that, his link-up play is very good. He's also I like his work rate when it comes to pressing the defense, the wing backs and defenders whenever it's around his side, and also tracking back, helping out Martin on the wing, so that we can have the numbers and not be outnumbered in the attack, right? Especially in the transitions. So, and then after that, also linking up play when it comes to having the ball, having the confidence to passing it to the middle, sometimes back instead of unnecessary shooting or going forward and then losing the ball, right? When it comes to his decision making, also he's making good crosses, and also obviously the main thing is what I said in the game against Valencia just like 3 days ago, was that he stays way too wide, and that makes Barcelona having an empty space in the middle where he should enter whenever the ball is on the other side, right? Which and Martin could occupy the wide left hand side, and that what exactly happened because with the first goal, the ball was on the right hand side with Fermin. Fermin passes the ball to Koundé. As Koundé has the ball, instead of him staying really wide on the left, he drifts centrally to basically standing on top of the penalty spot. And that's what I said I wanted them to be, because there's so much space there as Rashford is Lewandowski is pulling the other defenders, the other striker, and then leaving a space in the middle, which Fermin usually would be there. But because Fermin is the one passing, Rashford sees the space and goes to the middle, and because of that, the cross in from Jules with his left foot, and then he was basically unmarked, right? Which again, that's what he needs to do most of the time, because you can't score from the left side or the right hand side because the goal is in the middle of the pitch, right? You're supposed to all drift into the middle, right, to score the goal. I guess getting higher, chance of scoring, and then with this second goal, again you can see where he was. He wasn't standing on the wide on the left. He was standing right at the edge of the D of the penalty box. And as he was there, he is pressing them, and then Tonali makes a mistake. I think it was Tonali, or might be Byrne, but Tonali was marking him, and then obviously he drifts a little bit to the right hand side, and then shoots to the right hand side, and then after that shoots to the left hand side of the top corner, hitting the bar on its way, right? And yeah, that's what I need from him, drifting a little bit more to the right, and also sometimes even if needed, go to the right fully instead of just staying in the middle as well, right? But giving so much space so that Fermin can go to his the space that he leaves behind, if just in case the right back is following him. So in my opinion, it's very good performance, and very very good performance. And obviously that goal is the one that won us the game, the rocket shot from Rashford. And you know what I'm happy about is, now number one, he looks happy. The players look like they're happy to play with him, trusting him more in passing the ball to him. And he looks like he's, I mean, he said it many times in his interviews, right? And how like excited he is to play all the time. But you can see it in his expression, especially after every misses, for example. He smiles still. He's saying sorry to everyone, and then he's asking for the ball. He's communicating with the team and everything. And then whenever you can see in each celebration, how much smile he's having, and after the game as well, right? And then also another positive is for the future, when he's also getting this much confidence, I guess, to at least be more direct, because that's what he's good at, being direct instead of like dilly-dallying in the Neymar kind of player, for example, right? Just dilly-dallying, doing skills on the side of the pitch. No, he's someone who's direct, getting the ball, then just sprint to the edge of the box, right? Be it a pass, a shot, or a cross, basically, right? but he does that kind of player. So I'm glad that's a good positive from him. But regarding the other thing about the game, I'd say are substitutions. Who are they? Let me think. So Ferran is replacing Lewandowski in the 69th minute, and also Christensen for Kubarsi. So we got 20 minutes from there, and Ferran wasn't really doing much, but it wasn't really doing any mistakes really. So I'd say an okay performance after coming on as a sub. There was a shout for penalty from him after controlling the ball, and then he felt he was pushed. In my opinion, it's soft, so I don't think it should be a penalty, and I'm glad it wasn't given a penalty. It would be, I guess, it would be controversial in my opinion. What's the difference between the Madrid thing? I guess Marseille, right? So in my opinion, it wasn't a penalty. It was soft if it was given, but alhamdulillah, it wasn't given. With Christensen, again, he's done good enough. It's basically him entering. Christensen is so professional and reliable that we're missing Kubarsi. It doesn't feel like we're missing anyone there because of how much he just fills any gap that he enters in, be it a centre back, be it on the left side or the right hand side of the centre back, or even when 2 seasons ago when he had to be pushed by Xavi to the defensive mid. He's always slotting it in perfectly at every gap that he needs to fill, basically, which is exactly what he said in the conference, the press before the match, right? So then the next, the other changes are Eric Garcia for Gerard Martin. This is the one thing that I didn't like about the substitution was Eric changing for Martin. I understand maybe because of lack of experience for Joffrey, but in my opinion, how can players get experience if not playing in this kind of environment, right? Especially when the game was 2-0 for us. And then also number two, the change, I can't remember what time it was, but I think it was in this around 75th, between 75th to 80th minute roughly. So we only have about 15 to 20 minutes, maybe like extra time, right? So about 18 maybe to 22 minutes, right? 18 to 23 minutes. And like what like it's not like it's bad to bring Geoffrey Torres, who's I think is 18, I think 18 or 19, no, 17, 18 or 19, I think 18, and like obviously he's inexperienced, but he is an actual left footed, right? And he's quicker than Eric, for example, so he'd know what to do there. And in my opinion, if Geoffrey Torres was playing, I don't think we'll concede that goal at the end of the game, but from Javi Vance, because he would know how to mark Murphy, right? So I didn't agree with that. Nothing against Eric, even his performance, I'd say his average performance. Again, it wasn't his fault. This is his fourth position that he has to play because he's centre back, and then he had to play defensive midfielder last season and also right back late last season and also this season, and now another position which is a left back, right? Which in my opinion was unnecessary. Should have played Geoffrey Torres there. And then the next one is Rashford out, and then Daniel Olmo in again. In my opinion, there was nothing that I can remember of regarding his performance, his average performance, sealing the game off basically regarding those changes. And then late on it was Casado for it was a 92nd minute, Casado for Femin, and again it was only because Femin was getting yellow and we needed that was, I think, was it right after? I think it might be right after. It might be right after we conceded the goal. Right after we conceded the goal, it was 2 minutes right after we conceded the goal from Gordon, Anthony Gordon. We needed someone who's lower and controlling the game instead of someone who's higher, like Fermin, for example, staying higher. And Hansi Flick saw that. Then replaces someone who's more attacking minded to someone who's more of a, I guess, controlling and defensive minded in Casado, right? And it basically worked, and then we just controlled the game right after that goal, right? And then yeah, I'd say that's the main thing that I need to say about the game. There was one thing that I'd like to add, and that is right before that game, it was Club Brugge was playing against Monaco, where they won, I think, 4-1. With obviously I was watching it because of two reasons. Number one, Club Brugge being a team that we will be playing. Also, it was away. It was at home. Club Brugge was playing at home, and we will be playing, I think, at their ground. I think they will be playing against them away. number one. And then number two, also Ansu Fati. I want to see, because I saw Ansu Fati was on the bench with Monaco for the first time, and he did play. Can't remember what was the time. I think he had like 30 minutes into the game. Early on, he had basically the whole game he had no chance to do whatever, because the game was already done early by Club Brugge, and he wasn't getting the ball at all. But the one time he got the ball, he at the last minute he scored the goal with his left foot. It was through a crowd, but because of that, it's in. And you can see in the replay after he scored, the relief in his face, that he feels like a heavy burden has been lifted, and I'm happy for him. I hope he does well in his loan spell, and obviously mainly for his career, not for Barcelona, right? Be it for anyone, I hope he does well, because you feel sorry for the career path that he had. Then due to injury, he was I guess disrupted. But yeah, regarding that for the Club Brugge and Ansu Fati thing, my man of the match, I already said, it would be Pedri. Their best player for Newcastle would be Anthony Elanga. My main takeaway, I'd say, I wrote it down as Joan Garcia is just, finally we feel safe, right? Someone who's actually a goalkeeper, you know. And then after that, no, this obviously Tuto's taken, but then after that, Araujo and Kubarsi partnership works. That's one thing as well. You can see that they understand each other, and I'm glad that there's a balance there. And then Rashford started to settle in with the system. That's the main thing. So our next game would be Getafe. I think is at home. Possibly we'll be playing at Johan Cruyff, Stade Johan Cruyff. So we'll be seeing the best football in with the best football play style team this season, which with against Harambol. So we'll see about that. Our previous three games against them was it was a draw, a win, and a win. The last one would be being a draw away at them. It was 1-1, while the previous two were at home, and it was both were wins with 1-0 and 4-0. But yeah, other than that, if you enjoy my video, you can leave a like, maybe subscribe, and if there's anything that you want to add and your opinion about my review in this video, you can leave it in the comment. Inshallah, I'll see you in the comments. Okay. Other than that, expect a review for the next few games with West Ham, Real Madrid, and also Barcelona. Other than that, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.